Hey, thanks so much, Chris. I've got to tell you, there's such a contrast between what these campaigns are saying now and what they were telling me off the record 2 weeks ago. The top people of the McCain campaign 2 weeks ago, obviously confused, disillusioned at the direction of the campaign. Tonight, they like their chances. They think for the first time the clouds are opening up and they've got a shot. They like where they are. On the other side of it, 2 weeks ago, people very close to the Obama campaign were concerned that a bit of, if not arrogance, at least contentment was creeping in. This was a campaign that believed they could not lose over the past 2 weeks. Perhaps because of Steve Schmidt's new leadership on the McCain campaign, the fact that McCain campaign has been leaning forward with one message, and there are plenty of problems with that message, according to some McCain people, a shovel.
I mean, seriously, Joe, the man just lost. I did. The man just lost 7 points in the likely voter poll. McCain did from last week, from last month, from USA Today's likely voter poll. The higher level one, the supposedly more sophisticated one, it was 49-45 McCain last month. It's 48-45 Obama. Back up what they're saying or what you're saying.
Well, I mean, get a shovel, Keith. My God.
Nouri al-Maliki is insistent that all foreign soldiers leave the country by the end of 2011.
All right, we'll do that. Hey, I'll tell you what, Nouri.
Hey, good idea.
If you'd like us to leave now, we could.
We
of course,
could definitely.
As soon as we'll have your head, you'll look like Mussolini in a public square in Italy in about 15 minutes. But we'll leave now if you'd like. We don't give a damn. It's your neck, not ours.
He has to move the capital of Iraq to Geneva.
Yeah.
I think the soldiers.
What's best for the Iraqis, Joe?
What's that?
Oh, Lord.
We know what's best for them. They want us to leave, but we ought to stay because we want to prevent their civil war.
Yeah, you know what, baby? If they want us to leave, let's get the hell out and start spending the money on Americans.
I think some of the soldiers there on repeat tours of duty would like to come
You'll
home.
get no complaints from me. No, it's the Iraqis who are just like our allies in Europe that bitch and whine about us being in Iraq, but the second we quietly tell them we're going to start getting out of there, they start whimpering. Oh, not yet. You know, you broke it. You need to fix it.
Here would be something different. Let's tell them we're getting out of there instead of mocking and ridiculing anybody who comes up with that idea as the Republican Party. Maybe we should call the Iraqis bluff and do exactly what you suggested.
Hey, Schuster, are you Rip Van Schuster? Have you been sleeping for the past couple months? They have been talking about a timeline to get out of Iraq. 2011, I believe it is. All I'm saying here is, if they want us to leave earlier, we will gladly leave earlier.
Hey, guess what?
And you know what? Just because I say Maliki will be killed in 15 minutes doesn't mean I care whether he gets killed or not. I don't.
Now my newscast is over.
No, seriously, I don't know why I'm being attacked by saying
You're not.
I want to send the troops home. Why are you so hateful? Why do you want to keep American troops in Iraq even longer, David Schuster?
Joe, your party, the Republican Party.
Wait, hold on a second. My party?
Clarify.
No. Just stop right now. Put a timeout right there, because if you would like to get the transcripts of everything that I have said since 2004, I will gladly get them to you, and I will let you know that, quote, my party loathes me much more than your party, the Democratic Party, loathes me.
Well, that's a whole other issue, but the fact of the matter
No, it's not another issue, because you said your party. Okay, well, let's...
The party that you serve with in Congress,
what about
they are
your
the ones
party?
who have repeatedly suggested.
What's your party? Oh, David Schuster, hold on a second,
Look,
David.
I'm making the point.
David, what's your party?
I have no party. I'm a complete independent.
You're independent, just like all other
I'll show you my
journalists in
voting
this
card.
town.
I'll show you how I'm registered later.
Oh, well,
but the bottom line
hold on
is...
a second. No, I feel so comforted by the fact that you're an independent. Well, I bet everybody in MSNBC has independent on their voting cards. Oh, we're down the middle now. Go ahead, David. No, David, go ahead.
So anyway,
you're
the point
an independent, David. Go ahead, but talk about my party.
Are you done?
Go ahead. No, I'm not done. When the fact is that I am about as down the middle as anybody on television, on any network.
And Joe,
you
why don't
come
you
in
call
with
up
a
the
cheap
McCain
shot
campaign on that?
Calling up your party.
Joe, why don't you call off the McCain campaign instead of making these points? And look, I agree with you.
Call off the McCain campaign?
Call the McCain campaign on this card. Why don't you say to the McCain campaign the next time you're on the show, you guys should take up their offer. Iraq wants us out of there. Call their bluff instead of ridiculing people
David.
like yourself.
Why wouldn't I? Do you never watch this show?
Is McCain a conservative?
Well, and am I fit? Am I physically fit?
No.
Do I eat right?
No.
Are these Slurpee milkshakes that I get from Starbucks every morning good for my health?
Absolutely
Do I
not.
dress
Okay.
appropriately for national
Do
television?
I dress appropriately for
You
national
go right
television?
down the line.
So we have answered the question. Is John McCain a conservative? No, no, and
Well,
again,
now.
I say no. Well, what do you mean, well, now?
Well, I just think you're, overmodulated a little bit.
But not
that's
overmodulated.
Okay. We tone it down,
Would
and
you-
we straighten up, and we move on.
Okay, Mika, because you really do know what a conservative is.
Okay.
I won't try to tell you who a liberal is because you've got that one cornered.
Yeah.
But I can tell
Okay, you know what? I totally resent
I
that,
can-
and that's actually wrong. But okay, go ahead.
Well, Mika, if you continue to try to tell me what a conservative is, or
I'm
what
not
a
trying to tell you what a conservative
All right,
is.
you're interrupting me every 3 seconds also. Let me tell you, John McCain, because you brought it up,
Yeah.
because you suggested that I do not know what a conservative is. Let me tell you what a conservative is.
than the weather guy that was
Yeah.
talked about last night.
Associates and
Go ahead,
friendships become an issue when political opponents decide to make them an issue. And so we've talked about this before on this show. I mean, the
Rachel,
Jeremiah Wright.
no,
Well,
Rachel.
wait,
It's
Joe,
all about defining.
Joe,
It's
let me
about
make my point,
defining
and then
a
you can
candidate.
dismiss me.
You
Let me
already
make
did.
my point first. The Jeremiah Wright as a pastor for Barack Obama is an issue. The political associations that John McCain has made with right-wing pastors have not been an issue. The issue that has been made about who's given money to Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton because their opponents have decided to go after them on that. But, for example, John McCain had this incredibly controversial relationship with his Florida campaign co-chair, who was caught in a bathroom offering money to a police officer to do something that we can all imagine in a bathroom. Nobody's going to John McCain about that and saying, he was your Florida campaign co-chair? What do you think about men doing that in bathrooms? What do you think about entrapment from police officers? What do you think
That's
about
what the
public
general
sex?
election is for.
Nobody brought that stuff, but nobody's brought that stuff up to John McCain at this point, and it's a decision made by political opponents. It's not something that happens organically because of how long you've been around the block.
All right, let me get a prediction time. Time for our panelists to peer into the crystal ball. Tell us something that they see. Rachel, Harold, John, and Joe still with us. Joe, what are you seeing tonight?
Well, I think I may blow all my time on the prediction to respond to Rachel. I don't engage in crossfire type debates, and certainly I don't want to talk about what people do in bathrooms. I do want to say, though, that anybody, and you can ask Harold Ford, you can ask anybody that's ever run for political office, that the thing you want to do is define your opponent. You define opponents that people don't know more easily than defining opponents that have been in public service for a quarter of a century. It was the only point I was trying to make. And again, I don't do crossfire, so if we want to yell back and forth, then Rachel will have to find somebody else to do that.
I wasn't trying to yell back and forth with you. I was starting to make my point, and you cut me off before I started my first sentence. That's the one I was... You had waited for me to start, I started, and then you jumped in.
Well, I don't mean to be condescending, but I can say that anybody that's ever run for political office before knows that there's a big difference between John McCain and defining him, who's been in public service for 25 years, and defining Barack Obama, who was in Washington, D.C. for 1 year before he decided to run for president.
All right, I'm going to shut this particular debate down and move on.